Viva FM, the number one choice in Leeds.
Right then, okay. We were talking about domestic abuse. And just as simple, I don't know, you may be able to answer this or not. There's a gentleman called Asif Sabi just asking me that, especially in our Pakistani community and Indian community, people get married, they come here, and for whatever reason, then they start forcing them, in a sense, oh, well, you can do this, you can do that, and you can't do that. And that goes on a lot. Do you find that, do you get people like that coming to your organization asking for help, who have just recently arrived and straight away their life is really torn apart?
We do get people who have recently migrated to the UK contacting us. Domestic abuse unfortunately can affect anyone, but we are seeing that, and I think it can be a particularly vulnerable time when someone is new to a country where they may not have community links and things like that. So there are organisations out there who particularly support survivors or victims of domestic abuse when they are, from a certain country, or they've got they need support there. But yeah, no, we do see that, and it can be particularly vulnerable when someone perhaps isn't sure about their immigration status or something like that. It can be really difficult because of potential control around that. So it is a concern for us to see that. And but organisations like ours can support people when they've got those needs, or we can support them to get translation or interpretation that will allow them to be able to get support. So there are people out there across the UK that can support that group of women.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. You can also, we were talking a little bit earlier on about people who are responsible for this sort of thing. Not all of them maybe, resort to the violence or, the other types of aggressiveness. Is there, people who are just sort of starting out and you feel this person is not really is on a wrong path. Is there help available for them, before they really reach their point?
Yeah, so what we're hoping that there will be more work, with young people in particular, so they can understand the signs and the potential behaviours that could be seen as abusive. So I think it's really important that early people understand that, what a healthy relationship looks like. And one of the things actually we would really like government to do more on is around actually programmes for younger men and boys, because often there might be signs of, as you say, of abusive behaviour or concerns around controlling behaviour, and actually the best thing we can do is support those young men and boys at that young age. But there aren't many programmes out there actually for that targeted group, which we think is a real shame. There are programmes out there perhaps for those that are in relationships and where they have children with someone. We do run a couple of programs for men, and we do genuinely think that if people can recognise that their behaviour is problematic, then people can change. We don't think that is behaviour that can be unlearned. And when people want to change and they're given support to do so, to challenge their use and their domestic abuse and their beliefs around control and power, there is a chance to change if that kind of accountability.
Yes, I'm just seeing a text message, just asking the same question really. It's from a lady, and she's saying that she feels that she feels that she's been abused, in a sense, being controlled, and she doesn't want to go to the police. She doesn't want to report, for whatever reason it is. And she's just asking me the same question, really. She would like, and she maybe, or is there people, once if they go on a program like this, they can change and have a happy life afterwards? Should she come to a place like yourself? Because she's very, very wary at the moment.
Yeah, we understand not everyone wants to go to the police, but they can come to a service like ours and we can support them through the police process, or we can just support them with other needs that they have. We believe it's for the person to have that choice when they come to us, and we work with them on what they need support on. But yeah, we do believe that when there is a willingness to change, that with kind of someone who is willing to kind of accept their previous behaviour and look at ways in which they can manage it in the future and kind of increase and understand the effect they're having on someone, there is an ability to change.
Obviously, so your organization been going long time, 45 years, I'm sure you said. Now then, what would you ideally like to see? What will happen? And so organization like yours, we don't need them. Is it possible?
That's our aim. We want to not have to exist in some senses, and our mission is to end the harm that people experience through violence and abuse. It's difficult, and it's a systemic problem within our society and many others. But we do think that if there's more education, there's more awareness of people of what an abusive relationship looks like, and there are programs that can support those where they are showing abusive behaviours, that there is an ability. It's not going to happen in a year, but long term we can kind of end the harm done by violence and abuse. So our aim is, not to exist.
That's good. That's good. Is there anything else you would like me to tell, especially about Solace Women's Aid?
Yeah, so I suppose whilst that's our aim, unfortunately, that's not something you're likely to see. So, we're supporting 23,000 victims of domestic abuse every year. But we have seen during the pandemic that there's been an increase in those calling our free advice line. At one point we had 117% more callers during points of the pandemic. So, the pandemic has increased the number of women experiencing abuse, but has also made it more difficult to get support or to report it. So, we're really asking people to donate to charities like ours, so that support is out there and we can answer more of those calls and give out more support. But also, if you are someone who is concerned that they are experiencing abuse, there are organisations out there like us who can support you and help you to get to a place of safety and hopefully recover from that traumatic experience.
Yeah. So obviously, organizations like yourselves are funded by donations and by some other funding and things like that. If someone out there listening wanted to donate something, well, how can they do that?
Yeah, no, as you say, it is a mix, and we do rely on donations. So we'd anyone to come to Solace's website. So Solace Women's Aid. If you Google that, you can go and donate on our website, and there's a number of options of how you can do that. So we'd thank people for doing that at this time where we know there's people out there needing our support.
Brilliant. Thank you very much indeed. And obviously, Solace UK Women's Aid, that's the website, and the phone number you can give us if people want to call in.
Yeah, of course, I can definitely give that. So probably we're quite London focused, so I would suggest that people call the National Domestic Abuse helpline. And, if you are in urgent need, then of course the 999 for the police, but the domestic abuse helpline is 0808 2000 247.
0808 2000
247.
247. That's 24/7 available. Thank you very much for taking your time out and talking to us, Rebecca, and about this Solace Women's Aid and domestic abuse people are suffering. We wish you all the luck, and let's hope your wish comes true. And we don't need to exist and don't need to talk about this. Let's hope this does happen.
Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much indeed. You have a nice day.